A woman named Ramona is watching a video of her husband on her phone. Turns out that he has died recently in a car crash. Her son Taylor comes there and calls for her, but she does not reply. Taylor opens the curtain and says that the electricity has been cut off from the house, and she needs to call the electrician, but she does not have any energy to do it and succumbs to her bed. She gets up, and we see that she has a broken leg from the car crash. Before getting out, she prayed to the Almighty to give her strength. She then goes to her daughter Annie and wishes her good morning. After the crash, Taylor has taken on the entire duty of the household, including feeding their animals and as well as taking care of their supplies. But things are getting bad as Ramona does not shop for anything, and they don't even have matches left in the house. He goes to the attic where his father's old stuff is kept, and he retrieves a lighter and a coffee mug from there. Ramona gets down for breakfast, but the house is quite literally falling apart as Taylor is in charge of taking care of everything. He asks Ramona if she has called the electrician, but she says that she can't. She says that they just have to make it through the night, and she will call the electricians tomorrow. Suddenly, the dog starts to throw up, and Taylor says that it happened because they ran out of dog food and had to feed him cereal. Ramona is agitated and asks Taylor to immediately chain the dog out of the house. Ramona sees all the pending bills that have piled up on the table. Suddenly, Taylor comes there and says that a woman is sitting in their yard, all covered in black. They look outside and see the woman who seems to be wearing a black bridal gown covered with a black veil. They contemplate for some time about what exactly to do in the scenario, and Taylor suggests that they should call the police, but they also don't have a phone in the house to call them. The dog has also started to frantically bark at the woman, and Annie is getting scared now. Ramona decides to take matters into her own hands and decides to go outside to have a word with her. Ramona goes out and asks the woman about what she's doing there. The woman says, "How did I get here?" Ramona is perplexed, and that's when the woman asks her name. Ramona introduces herself and says that she lives with her husband and her kids. She tries to get details about the woman, but she does not say anything. Ramona is now getting scared and says that her husband will be back soon and they will be forced to call the cops. But the woman says that she has a broken leg, and the crash car that is parked there indicates towards the fact that she does not have a husband. She is now terrified and tries to leave, but the woman says that she listened to Ramona's prayer and today is the day all her wishes will come true. She then extends her hands, which are filled with blood. Terrified, Ramona runs towards her house. But on her way, she notices that all the chickens in their barn have been butchered by someone. She gets inside the garage and sits in the car. She tries to charge her phone in there, but it's of no use as the car has also run out. The dog keeps on barking, but the woman extends her hands again and the shadow reaches the dog. Seeing all this happening, Taylor decides to get out, but just then Ramona gets inside. She says that she went to the garage to bring the torch as they will need it for the night. The kids ask about what transpired out there, but Ramona lies and says that she ran away from the nearby mental hospital and they should stay in the house as it will be safe. They start to enjoy some ice cream to divert their attention from the woman, but Taylor is still fixated on her. He suggests that they should get their father's gun to protect themselves, but Ramona says that there is no need. They get into an argument, and in anger, Ramona smashes the cup on the floor. Taylor leaves and goes to another room. Ramona goes there and apologizes to him for behaving erratically. Suddenly, Annie comes and says that the woman is getting closer to their house. They also notice the same and start to freak out. The sun goes down, and her shadow starts to loom larger, which causes the tires to flatten. Annie has started to draw pictures, but she has the habit of writing the words in the backwards. Ramona checks her wound and sees that a thread is coming out of it. She starts to pull it out, but it keeps coming out. But Annie calls her and her trance breaks, which makes her notice that the wound is just as it was. Annie asks about why she does not paint anymore, and Ramona says that she will start again once she has a picture in her mind. Ramona then goes to the window and sees that the woman is still sitting there. She goes outside and calls for the dog, but he does not reply. She finds his chain and keeps on pulling it towards her, but finds that the chain is broken and the dog is nowhere to be found. She gets back inside, and Taylor suggests that they should drive to the neighbor and ask for help, but Ramona says that she cannot drive in her condition. Taylor says that he knows how to drive, and she should allow him as it is their only way to safety, but Ramona keeps on refusing him, which eventually pisses him off. In anger, he starts to throw a ball against the wall, which bothers Ramona, and she snatches it and throws it out of the window. She also has an outburst at Annie for writing the syllables wrong, but she soon realizes that she was wrong and apologizes to her. She hugs her, but suddenly stabs her with a knife, but when she gets back to her senses, she sees that she has stabbed a pillow. Annie screams, and they get out of the room to find that she has cut her foot because she stepped on a piece of the cup. Ramona takes her upstairs to tend to her wound, and seizing the opportunity, Taylor takes the keys and gets out of the house. He gets in the car and tries to start it, but notices that it has broken down. He also finds that the woman is getting even closer. Suddenly, he feels as if someone is walking around the garage, so she takes a metal rod and runs out, but it turns out to be Ramona. They get inside the house and get into an argument as Taylor has found out that she was lying all along. He tells Annie as well that they should not trust their mother, but makes Ramona angry, and she throws a basket at him. Things have gotten too far, and Taylor says that he's now going to take matters into his own hands. He takes his father's gun and locks Ramona inside a room. Before leaving, he asks Annie not to open the room as he's going to take care of everything. He goes outside, points the gun towards the woman, and asks her to leave immediately, but she does not even budge and walks towards him. She removes her veil and says that his mother has lied about everything regarding the night of the accident. On the other hand, Ramona keeps on begging Annie to let her out of the room, and eventually she helps her. Taylor is back inside the house and reprimands Ramona to tell him the truth. She finally spills her guts out and says that they were out that night for dinner. Ramona told David that she's not feeling good about staying in the house and she wants to move. But David said that they have recently purchased the house and they just don't have enough money to move again. He also asked her to give it some time to settle down. But Ramona was not having any of that and left from there immediately. It was raining heavily and Ramona was driving the car, but suddenly she saw the woman in the rear window and crashed the car, which killed David. She says that she was distracted while driving and did not want her kids to know. So she told everyone that David was the one who was driving recklessly. On the other hand, Annie notices that the shadow of the woman has started lurking inside the house. Suddenly, Annie screams, and they go out only to find that the shadow has erupted a chaos inside the house. They run towards the other room, and Taylor starts to shut down all the windows so the lights cannot come in. All of them then get up to the attic, but the shadow grabs Annie and pulls her. But just in time, Taylor puts a picture in front of the window, which blocks the light, and the shadow leaves. They feel someone's presence in there, and Taylor switches on the torch. But immediately, the woman appears there and pushes both of them out. She then slowly approaches Annie and says that there is nothing to be afraid of, as she is there to bring her back to her home. She embraces Annie and vanishes from there. Both Ramona and Taylor start to look for her around the house. Ramona finds a passage, but when she walks through it, she gets inside her old bedroom and finds David there. She goes and sleeps and lies next to David, and he starts to comfort her. Suddenly, she notices that everything inside the room is in backwards. She tries to get up and leave, but David wraps the cloth around her face, which makes her unconscious. When she gets back in her senses, she finds herself clad in the black attire, sitting in the same place where the woman was sitting previously. She has the exact same conversation with herself, but again, she gets back to reality and finds herself sitting in her bedroom with Annie. She asks Taylor to take Annie and leave the room. She then finds the woman in the room and says that she will blow her head off. But the woman says that the only person she will kill is herself, as she cannot deal with the grief anymore. Ramona says that she has 2 children to take care of her, but the woman says that they are taking care of themselves, and without her, they will grow up to be better people. Ramona agrees to it and takes both Taylor and Annie out of the house. She asks them to go to the neighbors and get help while she stays inside the house. She then goes up to the attic with Annie's doll and the gun in her hand. The woman comes there and puts the gun against her throat and asks her to shoot. She looks in the mirror for one last time and sees the doll that Annie had left her, which changes her mind. She comes out of the house and both the kids go and hug her. She says that the woman might come back again in the future, but this time she will be stronger and deal with it. They walk towards the house and the lights come back on as well. Later, we see a picture drawn by Ramona where she has written her name backwards. So that was the recap for the 2025 movie The Woman in the Yard. For more recaps like this, stay subscribed to the channel. And if you have liked this video, you may also like this.